So back in 2007, I ran 2 half marathons, the Forest of Dean half and the Cardiff half, both in 1:59 and 1:49. I then decided running wasn't for me and didn't pick up the sport again until 2015 when I seriously started running. I then clocked my first half marathon time in 1 hour and 44 minutes in that March of 2015. Fast forward to now, to last year, where I ran 75 minutes, 1 hour 15 at Cardiff half. And as of right now, I'm just about to wrap up another half marathon training block. Next week, I'm entering my final week where I'm going to be lining up at the Oxford Half Marathon. So today's video, I want to sit down and go through with you guys 6 of my favourite workouts that I've done in this block that I feel have really helped me improve, and fingers crossed will lead me to a new PB next weekend. Now, just for a little bit of context, I've done 2 workouts a week. For most of the week, some of them I've done 1, and I think others I've done 3, including a long run workout. So it has been a bit of a mix and match depending on if I've been on holiday or if I've been racing or whatever it might be. So I picked out 6 of my favourites. I'm going to talk to you guys about the type of workout they are, how you guys can adapt them into your training if you fancy looking at them and giving them a go and seeing if you can implement them into your schedule, and just me explaining why I feel they've been so beneficial to me. So without further ado, let's dive in. So the first workout kickstarts with a 10-minute tempo and a 2-minute easy jog recovery, so just getting the engine warm there. And then I rolled into 2 sets of 4 minutes, 2 minutes, and then 4 by 1 minute. So it went 4, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 4, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. That was a really good workout. Now you'll see a bit of a theme throughout this. You'll see some workouts with a lot of tempo on the front of it. I actually get some of my athletes to do this now that I coach, because I'll be honest with you, I found it to be super beneficial, because when we go into an interval workout, we often struggle to get those first couple of reps going. Even though we warm up really well, those first couple feel like we're burning the lungs. So to get that tempo out of the way kind of busts that rust straight away. It gets rid of that kind of sluggishness that we might have. And then when we finally get to the meaty work, which is the intervals, we feel like we're ready to attack them really well. So for me, that 10-minute effort, and you'll see in the future ones that we're about to talk about, those are around 1 hour race pace effort. So I'm thinking to myself, just a tiny bit faster than half marathon pace. And if I can do that for 10 minutes, then I'll feel good, have an easy jog, and then roll straight into the intervals. Now I love these cut down intervals. Again, is a good theme across this video and in my training in general, where it just allows me to kind of go through the gears, get faster and finish strong. But the beauty of this one was finish the 4 by 1 minutes and then have to go back and do it all over again. Get back into a controlled 4-minute rep, a controlled 2-minute rep, and then cut loose again on the 4 by 1 minute. So this was my first favourite one. And the second one comes from week 3 and week 8. I've done this workout twice in this training block, and it's been a great marker to see fitness improve. 10 by 3 minutes on, 3 minutes off. 60 minutes worth of work in total. And the goal here is to work over and under tempo pace. Now I've still not quite got that right. I run the unders, the faster bits, a little bit too quick, so I can't sort of run the overs as close to tempo effort as I'd like, but I've still managed to make sure that they're quite a decent hard float and more of a moderate effort. So it's worked out really well, and it has been, and has been I should say, a really good marker of fitness progress. The first one I did on the cycle track, which is kind of down for 3 or 4 miles, up a massive steep hill, and then up back for 2 miles. And some of those rep paces, you can run really fast out on that trail because it's very compact. There's a good downhill section. You can really get your legs spinning. But then I did the second one on a caravan park, and it was flat and obviously concrete, so naturally the surface is better, but the paces were so much quicker than out there on the trails. And that just shows for me the massive difference, even on the downhill sections of the trail one, where you can run really fast. I didn't even get close, or I was close, but only for a rep or two, to what I was doing for 10 reps of that during that second one I did out on the caravan park. So again, I take into consideration the different surfaces and the weather conditions. It was hotter on the first one as well, so I do get that. But it's just been a good progress indicator and a good marker there. If you want to use this type of workout, it's a brilliant one. Feel free to shorten it, do like 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off, or 1 minute on, 1 minute off. It's just a great kind of over-under practice for all of us to use. And the third one I want to talk about is 3 by 10 minutes on with 60 seconds float. So this is 30 minutes worth of work. The workout in total is like 32 or 33, depending if you do the last float or not. And yeah, it is all about locking in into that sort of goal pace, goal effort. I was told to kind of try and do 1 hour race pace, so tempo effort for me. I think for me it came out around that effort, which was brilliant, but the pace was half marathon effort. Just because of where I run, it is kind of like being in a bit of a bowl, so you do have some hills either side. Nothing massive, nothing crazy, but it does stunt the pace a tiny bit. I felt really good at this point, and again, this is kind of a staple. Like if you do this in terms of you do your training by miles or kilometers, for me this is more like sort of like 3 by 2 mile repeats, not as quick as that. I would say probably 3 by 1.6 or 1.7 miles, but it's that type of workout where you're doing a good chunk at goal race pace effort. It went really well. Again, just another good marker of fitness, another confidence boost, and that one's really good. So again, if you guys want to try it, feel free to shorten that. Try, you know, if you're again, if the volume is a bit lower in your training, maybe try 3 by 8 minutes or even 3 by 6 minutes. Whatever it might be, keep the float short. The whole goal with this is to keep the recovery short, because you're trying to lock in to goal pace or goal effort rather than kind of trying to run that faster, because if you run it faster and only have a 60-second recovery, you'll watch your rep times drop off massively. Into week 5 now, and I had a really, really good one here. 15 minutes tempo. So the tempo section has increased from 10, and that was really good. And then I had 2 by 6 minutes, and then I had a 3-minute rep at the end. This was a really good workout. I remember it well. So again, trying to that 15-minute tempo at the start, that was going for around that 1 hour race pace, half marathon sort of effort. And that's kind of where it came out, which was brilliant. Nice and controlled, bust the rust in that first section, get the legs going at a pace that is quite decent, but you're not kind of really pushing any sort of interval pace. Then 2 by 6 minutes, which was tough. It was getting tougher at that point, and you don't think that until you get to the second 6-minute rep, because you think, oh, I've done the tempo, that's the hard bit out of the way. But holding a fast pace for 6 minutes is pretty darn hard. So when you got to the second one, it was really tough. But then I found that next gear when I got to the last 3-minute rep, and it just felt really good. A classic cut down workout. There was no yo-yoing in this one. It was kind of like a slower, longer rep, 2 medium sort of reps, and then a short, fast one at the end. Again, you can just take some of the minutes off this. You could like do a 10-minute tempo, 2 by 4 minutes, and then finish with a 2-minute sort of effort. You could even take a little bit more off, but the whole concept of this is getting your body used to going through the gears. And the 5th workout comes from week 5 again. Both of these were really great workouts. I enjoyed them both a lot. 10-minute tempo, so again starting with a good chunk of tempo effort then, but then cutting right down to 5 by 50 seconds. So these are real fast leg spinning type of reps. Notes from the coach for me were keep it fast but controlled. These are not all out efforts. You're going, this workout in general is much more of an aerobic workout, so you're keeping these hard but controlled, because then after the 5 by 50 you're going back up to a 5-minute tempo effort. And I remember distinctly at that point feeling really good. I remember that 5-minute rep being fast, much faster than the 15 minutes. I really got into my stride at that point. And then I finished off with another 5 by 50 seconds. So it was a case of going from a really controlled, longer tempo effort to some really short, fast stuff, trying to then lock in back to that sort of tempo effort again, which for me ended up being a bit quicker, and then finish off with some faster stuff. These workouts all replicate, you're probably seeing this pattern, they all sort of replicate what can happen in a race with pushes and surges and stuff like that. And so this one I really, really enjoyed. Again, you can't really cut down the 5 by 50, but if you're reducing volume, feel free to do something like a 6 or 8 minute tempo, then do the 5 by 50s or maybe 5 by 30s, and then that 5-minute tempo in the middle you could maybe make 3 minutes and then go back to sort of 5 by 30s or 5 by 50. The whole concept again, as I said, longer rep, short fast stuff, lock back into that longer effort. You'll be fatigued, you'll feel the pinch, but it's a really good one, and then finish off with the shorter, faster stuff. And the 6th and final one before the bonus one, this was last week, week 8 for me. This was a big volume workout. 6 by 4 minutes off 90 seconds. Again, these have to be controlled. These workouts are much more aerobic than the shorter, faster 5K and 10K stuff. So I'm not doing tiptoe sort of jog recovery rests. These rests are serious. I'm doing easy to float type of jogs. So yeah, those 4 minutes are controlled. And then I went in to 3 sets of 2 by 75 and then a 30-second rep. So it went 6x4, and then it went 75, 75, 30, 75, 75, 30, 75, 75, 30. It was a beast of a workout. It felt really tough, but when I finished, I think it ended up being over 8 miles worth of work in total, like the workout itself. And yeah, it was a real tough one. For me, again, it was about locking into that 6x4 minutes. That's a workout in itself. Getting that done, ticking the box, not burning on my matches at that point. Knowing effectively I had some really, in terms of distance, 400s to do, and then a real fast 200. So it was effectively like 400, 400, 200 if you work in distances at the end times 3. Again, if you want to adapt it, feel free to cut that down to like 6x3 or 6x2 minutes, and then keep those reps rather than the 75s. Maybe do something like, I don't know, minutes, and then the 30 can stay as it is. It's just, again, getting that concept of effectively doing a big chunky workout at the start and then finishing off with some good leg spinners at the end. And not that this last bonus one is appropriate to you guys, because you probably won't do this in your training, but I had the Oldbury 10 miler. I think it was like in week 6 or 7, I think it was. And yeah, I took that as a workout. Coach said to me, if you do 10 miles at half marathon effort 7 weeks out, you're going to be really knocked back with fatigue. We want you to keep stacking those weeks up. As I keep talking about on the channel, keep training, keep working. Consistency is key. So we're going to do 4 miles at marathon pace, 4 miles at half marathon pace, and 2 miles faster if you can. I barely picked it up in the last 2, but it was a great feeling to go from marathon effort to sort of half marathon effort. Didn't quite get it right in terms of the marathon effort. I did overcook it a tiny bit, but I was able to pick up the pace. It felt really good, and I loved it. So again, just having that discipline to attack a race in a slightly different angle, rather than going out there and going, right, I'm going to give it my all. I'm trying to treat it as a workout and see it as a bigger picture. 52 weeks in a year. I want to get through to next week, to next week, to next week. So let's not, again, burn all our matches this weekend. Let's not be too fatigued. Let's take this really controlled and sensible. And it ended up being a really good one. So as this is kind of a video about my favorite workouts, I just had to throw that one in there. So there we go. Those are my 6 plus a bonus favorite workouts of this half marathon block. Hopefully those adaptations will help you if you fancy any of them. If you've been following the training series, you'll have seen the ones that have gone well and the ones that haven't gone so well. But these ones in particular that I've picked out, I think most of them went well. I remember a lot of them very distinctly, but I just remember about all of these that I've selected today, just enjoying the process of those type of workouts, whether it's a full cut down, whether it's kind of like a longer tempo, real short fast stuff, back up to try and control it, and then some short fast stuff, whether it's just solid blocks of race pace, whatever it is. I've understood that each workout has a purpose, it has a place in training, and it's been great to have such a varied mix in the training plan. And a massive thanks to Will, my coach, for helping me out with these. That's it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to drop a comment below and let me know what your favorite half marathon workout is and what your favorite types of workouts are, like cut down workouts, straight through interval workouts, longer tempos. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic, and yeah, let everyone know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching today, guys. That's it from me. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a like, share it with your friends, and of course subscribe to the channel for weekly running content. I'll see you in the next one. Until then.